Hi, this is Donnie Hart, and this is another great episode of ETX Rocks featuring Eley Buck Davis.
From the great state of Texas, this is the latest episode of the ETX ROCKS SHOW. Nestled in the piney woods of East Texas, the ETX ROCKS SHOW delivers the stories and songs of talented artists of all genres, all styles, from the unheralded and unheard to the legends and beyond. We bring a passion for music and a drive to go behind the curtain with our guests. We focus on all artists, from LA to New York, Nashville down to Texas, and everywhere in between. ETX is our location, not a limitation. Now, as always, it's viewers and listeners like you out there that are our biggest support for the show. If you want to contribute to the show, please do so by donating to www.paypal.me/ETXRocks. And thank you for tuning in. Wherever you're tuned in, please hit the like, follow, and or subscribe buttons. And now, for another great episode of ETX Rocks. Hey guys, Boston Chris here with the ETX ROCKS Show, and I want to thank you guys for checking out the 236th episode of the show. Now, today's guest hails from right up the road in Beckville, Texas. With an authentic Texas red dirt sound, it's no wonder that his debut album, Ain't the Same, reached #1 on iTunes alternative country charts. His latest EP, Hills Lake Road, released in February, shows the same promise to reach the top. Guys, for the first time on the ETX ROCKS Show, I'm super excited to introduce everyone out there to Eley Buck Davis. All right, so we are sitting here with Eley Buck Davis, a.k.a. Eley Buchanan.
Yes, sir.
So you're originally from Beckville, like we said in the introduction. All right, so you did bring your guitar and your guitarist.
Yes,
so
sir.
You're going to play us a couple of songs. Tell us about the first one and maybe the story about how it got written.
Girl in the Song, I wanted to do that one because I haven't recorded it officially yet.
Okay.
And so I figured it'd be a good way to just kind of put it out there. It's been kind of a fan favorite when we play it out live.
Okay.
And so, but yeah, and it features the harmonica part, which I only play on 2 songs that I do. And so...
and the other one's going to be the one that I've heard on YouTube, right?
Yeah, like Hit Me First, yeah.
Man, what a great song.
And so I always try to, throw one of those out there just to change it up a little bit.
So this is the first time this has ever been heard anywhere other than a live show?
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Awesome. So this is basically a premiere song from Eley Buck Davis. It's called Girl in the Song. You guys check this out, live and unplugged, only on the ETX ROCKS Show.
Everybody's questions are the same. Who's the girl in the song? What's her name? Well, I couldn't share her identity, but I doubt she would care if I told you a few things. She sounds like Tennessee, smells like something sweet, looks like a beauty queen. Yeah, she's walking around with her hair in a ponytail. Oh God, it's been a living hell since she's been gone. Where did I go wrong with the girl in the song? She was my Spanish partner in 10th grade. I couldn't talk, I was too afraid. She didn't mind. She had plenty to say. She was making fun of my overall, so I made fun of the way she talked. But the truth is, I love that sound, 'cause it sounded like Tennessee, smelled like something sweet, looked like a beauty queen. Yeah, she's walking around with her hair in a ponytail. Oh God, it's been a living hell since she's been gone. Where did I go wrong with the girl in the song? likes Camel Crush, silvers, and cheap box wine. Staying up all damn night, listen to some old Snoop Dogg. Well, her middle name was Elizabeth, and she could talk so fast I just nod my head and smile. God, you made me smile, cause you sounded like Tennessee. You smell like something sweet, look like a beauty queen. Yeah, she's walking around with her hair in a ponytail. Oh God, it's been a living hell since she's been gone. Where did I go wrong with the girl in the song?
All right, so we are back. That was Girl in the Song by Eley Buck Davis. And so I got to kind of preface this interview a little bit on how I heard about Eley. Several months ago, I put out a post on Facebook just asking my friends for their favorite Texas artists. And, man, the post went, it was trending for over a day. We had like over 1,500 comments on this post, and kind of blew my mind. But you were one of the names that popped up on there, and one of your fans or something had linked a video of you. And
yeah, most of my friends are from Beckville,
okay.
So yeah,
so man, we saw this video and I was like, dude, man, how is this guy from Beckville? And I don't know, like, I took it personally, like, man, I mean, if you guys don't know out there, if you happen to be from the East Texas area, we filmed this show between Lakeport and Tatum, and Beckville is just on the other side of Tatum. So, I mean, within, 20 minutes I could drive probably to your house.
Yeah, it took us, 23 minutes? Yeah, 23 minutes to get here, yeah.
So it's like, man, this guy is incredible, and he's from right up the road, and I had never heard of you. And so I was like, man, this is not right. But you have, experience with the Nashville life. You've been up to Nashville.
Yes, sir.
You've relocated to Austin now, so you're familiar with that. So as a youngster in Beckville, what got you started in all of this?
It's got to be my grandpa. Really was a big inspiration. My parents didn't listen to a whole lot of music. My mom listened to contemporary music in the car when she'd take me to school. My dad listened to no music on the radio. Like, the radio was turned off. I did find out he did like Creedence and Clearwater, though, so that was pretty cool to find that out. But other than that, no music on the radio. So a lot of my inspiration came from my grandpa. And he showed me Hank Snow, Ernest Tubb, Roy Acuff, Jimmy Rogers, really old stuff. And so a lot of that came from just riding around the truck with him, listening to that kind of music. He was also a barber, and he had his own little barber shop, and it's, at the house. Yeah. And when I get my hair cut, he was always playing something old on the, record.
So how often were you around your grandfather that you could be, influenced?
Quite a bit, especially in the summer times. Both my parents, worked, and so in the summertime, I kind of, I'd live at their house and just hang out with him and listen to different music, and he'd show me documentaries. And one of the biggest things that come to mind is Great Balls of Fire. Yeah, Dennis Quaid played did Jerry Lee Lewis. And, man, I watched that, and I was like, that's what I want to do. He had all the girls and all the, and I actually played piano. That's my main instrument is piano, but I just, later on, I'd put that to the side to do this, kind of singer-songwriter thing with the guitar and,
it's cool because, I mean, obviously you were influenced by kind of an older generation of music. Yes. But your style is not really that. It's more...
Later on, I actually, like I said, I listened to that kind of music, and that was it. I didn't listen to anything on the radio. The first modern music that I can recall actually hearing that I liked, because I didn't like anything on the radio. Mm-hmm. The first modern music I actually liked was, my sister was in college, and she had an old Jeep Wrangler, and she picked me up from school or something one time when she was in, and she was playing Carney Man that Cross-Canada Radio did, you know.
The other CCR.
Yeah, the other CCR, and I heard that and I was like, oh man, that's cool. I actually like it. I like the lyrics. I like, you know, the kind of style that they had, just, you know, kind of outlaw, don't care, just, you know.
That red dirt mix of country and rock. Yeah.
But at the time, I didn't know what it was. I didn't know anything about Texas country or red dirt. I was probably like 7 or 8 when I actually heard that. And it was way later, like in college, when I actually started listening to it again and understood what that scene was, you know, and that's when I realized I want to become part of that scene, you know.
So it was really like college years when you decided that.
Yeah, when I got in college, I lived alone. I went to junior college first there in Carthage, not far from here either. And after I graduated there, I transferred to Monticello, Arkansas, which is a middle of nowhere too, you know. And so I was alone a lot, you know, and that's when YouTube and stuff was really becoming popular, looking up music on there and stuff.
So you didn't really have much of anything to do. So
no, and so I just sat around listening to music, looking up stuff on YouTube, and I discovered, you know, Ryan Bingham, Chris Knight, Lucero, and bands like that, and that's when I really started, you know, that music really influenced what I play now, more so than the music that I grew up listening to with my grandpa. I still appreciate that.
Yeah, of course.
You know, but it's not really what.
So as part of your evolution process, what was first? Was it picking up a guitar? Was it the piano? Was it singing?
Definitely piano. I did a little bit of songwriting with the piano, but it's mainly just sight reading stuff, you know, for my lessons, and also trying to imitate Boogie Woogie, you know, trying to play what Jerry Lewis did, and I can still do that to this day. I just don't, because it's like I said, I've kind of transitioned.
Yeah, it's not who you are anymore.
Yeah, it's not who I am. I mean, like I said, I appreciate it, but I'm doing trying to do the singer-songwriter thing now. But
so how did you end up in Nashville?
So I finished college at Monticello with a bachelor's degree in music performance, and then I decided, you know, I didn't know what I was going to do with it, so I stayed and got my master's in education, and I decided I was going to be a teacher.
Wow.
And I was actually interning at a high school there in Monticello while working on my master's, and I was miserable, and, you know, couldn't sleep, like, I wasn't happy doing that. And on the side, I was playing at like frat parties and stuff with friends, and I was playing songs that I had written. You know, I only had like 2 or 3 written at the time, and people seemed to show interest in them, and they liked them, and they'd request them the next time I'd go back and play. And so I decided, you know what, I'm going to go to Nashville, and I'm going to try it. I'll get a day job, and I'll just play my stuff. If it doesn't work out, then I'll just come back home and be a band director, you know. And then I got up there, and I fell in love with it. Yeah. And
how long were you there?
I was there for 2 years, and I've got a lot of contacts back in Austin, and, you know, I went up there for the kind of songwriting thing, not necessarily as an artist. I went up there as a songwriter, and
were you trying to get like publishing deals and stuff like that?
Yeah, I was trying to drink the Kool-Aid and try to write some pop country stuff, just something to make money off of, so I could come back here and do my own thing.
Right.
And it turned out, you know, I just couldn't get it. You know, I couldn't do the whole, you know, let's meet at 2:00 and write a song thing. I just couldn't get into it.
Because it's so regimented, right?
Yeah, and I'm not talking bad about it, because I've got friends that do it and they make a living doing it, and that's fine. You know, but it just wasn't me.
Yeah.
And so my buddies, you know, back in Austin, they're like, dude, just, you know, if you had a good time up there, just come down here and let's get the band thing started.
Right.
And so that's what I'm doing now. Is I've moved back, and I'm just trying to, you know, build a band and play out as much as I can, and do more of the artist side of it.
What would you say is the biggest benefit to an artist like you between Nashville and Austin? What does Austin do for an artist like you that Nashville couldn't?
Well, it's, you know, like they say, it's the live music capital of the world. There's more, there's more places that'll pay in Austin.
Yeah.
But then again, Austin is kind of leaning towards that. There's so many people moving in there.
Right.
And there's so many kids that'll play for free.
Right.
You know, and so it makes it hard for people like, you know, me that want to do it for a living. Nashville's been like that for a while.
Right.
You know, so when I moved to Austin, it was refreshing to find places that actually appreciated you and pay to have you play even your own songs. You don't have to play covers.
Right. Right.
You know, you can play covers in Nashville and make money, but you can't play originals. You know.
Really?
No, not. I mean, unless you got a record deal or something and people know you.
Yeah.
But if you're a nobody, you can't go up there and play originals because you got tourists coming in. They want to hear.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, a beer drinking song and
Damn tourists.
Yeah.
Not good, guys. Come on. Original music is where it's at.
Yeah.
So, how long have you been writing songs, would you say?
I guess since I was 17.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So quite a while.
Yeah.
And in the process, in the evolution of you writing songs, do you feel yourself maturing within that craft, or?
Yeah. Yeah, to start with, I think everybody does this. You always try to sound like somebody else.
Right.
You know, I've got a few songs that, sound a little too much like Chris Knight.
Okay.
I've even had friends tell me, like, okay, you're kind of sounding like... Because,
right.
You idolize, someone so much, and you try to be like them, and then I get obsessed with another artist, and so
right.
then I start kind of sound, like Jason.
So you
Isbell
can feel that stuff bleeding into your work.
Yeah, and so, but I feel confident to say that, I think I'm kind of finding my own thing now.
Right. So what is that? What's the identity?
I honestly don't know how to explain it. It's just, I don't know. I just try to sing real stuff.
Yeah.
And I try not to, write commercially, even though that's what the goal, you want to make money, but at the same time, you want to write something that's real.
Right.
So,
one thing I love about Eley Buck Davis is just the honest lyrics, and I hate saying the word simple because some artists can think that's offensive, but it's not. I mean, one of my biggest eras of music that I love the most is 90s country.
Yeah. And
90s country the lyrics were typically very simple and straight to the point, and had a lot of harmony and melodic undertones as well. But that's kind of what your voice and your style reminds me of. It's not so much 90s country, but the simplicity in the lyrics drags me in as a listener, and it makes me feel what you're trying to convey. And I think that's important as a songwriter. I mean, that's what you want to do, basically, as a songwriter. So over time in your songwriting process, I imagine when you first try to start writing songs, they're probably really rudimentary and archaic and clunky almost, So how do you get from that songwriter to the person that you are now that can actually convey emotion and pull people in as a performer?
Well, to start with, I grew up in a very conservative family, and so my dad's pretty old school. He's the old East Texas guy with the overalls and, no BS,
Yeah.
And so I always tried to, like you said, I kind of wrote that elementary type stuff because I didn't want to, I was scared to let out any real emotions or, anything, because, like I said, he's such a masculine man, I didn't want to come out with, oh, my achy breaky heart, or whatever. And
thank you.
Yeah. And so but anyway, he one day he just walked up to me. I think I was like maybe 19 or 20 at the time, and it's when I was kind of hinting at that I really wanted to be a songwriter or whatever, and I was doing it on the side, and he came up to me and he had a book like this thick full of poems.
Wow.
That he had written, and most of them for my mom.
Wow.
And then he had some funny, old man comedy in there too, or whatever. But
dad joke.
Yeah. And so I read them, and I was just like, tough guys have emotion too, And he told me that he was proud, of me for, trying to pursue my dreams or whatever. So at that point, that's when I was like, if I've got this guy's approval, my father's approval and my mother's approval, then I'm just gonna start writing about whatever I want to.
Awesome.
I don't have to worry about what someone's gonna. If I have their approval, I don't care what anybody else thinks. You know. So yeah, when I write stuff, I don't filter it as much as I used to. Before that moment, I filtered my music a lot. I would actually, something would come out and I would say it and I would write it down. I'd look back at it and I'm like, oh, I can't sing that in front of the family. I can't sing that in front of my grandma.
So you're just second guessing yourself.
I would second guess myself, and so I would change it. And now, even if something comes out and it's like in your face, I'm like, well, that's what came out. I'm not gonna and I think I've gotten better because of that.
Do you think that was just going through all that? Do you think that's just a confidence thing? Is it just learning how not to be so insecure about your vulnerability? Or?
Yeah, it was definitely a confidence thing and just wanting approval,
Yeah.
And a little bit of both. But yeah, like I said, now I just, I don't really worry about it at all, really. Yeah.
Awesome. So, one thing as a songwriter, especially someone who I would imagine, not being heavily influenced from your parents as far as music goes, and like you just said, having their approval was really important to you at first, which I can imagine is a natural thing for a young songwriter. Is just, especially where you're living in the middle of Arkansas, you're all alone. And
yeah.
I'm picturing you in my mind just writing all these songs and you have nobody to bounce them off. Except for that, the small group of people that you get to play for every once in a while. So when this small group of people are just, requesting those songs again, that's going to be a little bit of validation, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was. I mean, that was kind of the turning point, if you will, where I was like, okay, maybe I can,
right,
do this or whatever.
And so, as a songwriter, do you feel a whole lot like either social anxiety, or is there roadblocks there trying to get from there to where you are now?
Yeah, most of my social anxiety, it's like completely separate from the whole music thing.
Really?
Because when I play out live, like I don't have any issues. When I talk to people afterwards, I don't have any issues. But it's like when I'm away from that scene, it's like I'm a completely different person. If I wasn't doing this, if I was just talking to somebody else, sometimes I just I just don't know what to say.
Just freeze up.
Yeah, freeze up. And one of the worst things, like my mom gets on to me about it, but I hate when I'm home. I hate going to the local Walmart.
Really?
Because there's some kind of anxiety I have about people asking, how's the music going? Like how certain things going, and it's like I don't know what to say.
Right.
Because I haven't accomplished everything I want to yet. I'm happy with where it's going.
Right.
But I know that I haven't met the goal where I can say, yeah, I've done it. And so I don't know. It's just one of those things you don't want to go back home, and you don't want to tell anybody about it until you've done it.
Right.
Until you've really accomplished.
It sounds to me like you might not be one of those persons that's just okay with platitudes too,
No,
where you're just like, yeah, everything's great, it's so good to see you, all these little cliche things that we say in life.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, that's not me at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I try to do that just so I don't look weird,
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just not into that. I'm all about being real and.
So do you feel like the stage or the pen even makes you almost into a different person?
It does. I mean, there's a complete difference between playing on stage and then playing like my lead player and I played for my family last night, and I was a nervous wreck.
Yeah.
Because you have your family again, kind of listen to what you're saying and stuff, and it's not as bad as it used to be. I've gotten a lot better about it, but yeah, when we get on stage, it's like I don't know. I just feel like a rock star out there. I just don't. I can actually say clever things, and I'm just like, and when we get done, I'm like, I can't believe I just made people laugh.
That was actually funny, dude.
Yeah, I was
like,
actually.
What the heck?
Yeah.
Do you feel that anxiety creeps in ever on stage, or is it just just gone?
No, it's just gone. It happened a little bit. I think Nashville was really the best thing. I recommend anybody to go up there, and because that's kind of the place,
right.
And to me, if you can get through a few singer-songwriter rounds up there,
right,
you can play anywhere, because I think that really helped me out a lot.
Yeah, because I think those listening rooms are probably the most nerve-wracking places to play, because everybody's listening.
Yeah, because it's not just other people, but it's other songwriters.
Right, yeah.
It's other people doing what you're trying to do, and so they're critiquing you, and they're,
mm-hmm.
And so once you can play in front of a crowd like that, I think you can get on any stage and play anywhere. Yeah.
So how do you, combat the anxiety issues? Is there a certain process that you go through?
Yeah, lately I just, what I do now is I just tell myself, don't worry, it's not a big deal. Because it's really not.
Right.
And I used to tend to worry about this, the simplest things, and and I think most of it started in college with like, I might get a D in this class or something,
Right,
and I would just constantly think about it, and just little things like that. And now I'm like, dude, just chill out.
Do you feel like when you get into those little I don't even know what you would call them, those little attacks? Do you feel like maybe picking up the pen and writing a song kind of calms you?
Yeah, it does. Sometimes it does. And also just coming back here into my neck of the woods
Right.
is great too.
Yeah.
Sometimes living in the city and being in that traffic and it's the faster.
Yeah, I
pace
can
of
imagine
life,
Austin's probably pretty tough.
Yeah, well, Austin and Nashville, both beautiful cities, but when you live in a place like that, visiting is one thing. When you live in a place like that for a couple of years, everybody's fast paced and moving around, bouncing around. I got to get here on time. Got to do this, and I didn't grow up like that. I grew up,
Backwoods.
Right. Everything's pretty slow. What I mean.
And it is very slow around here.
And I like that.
Yeah. It's tough for a Yankee, man.
Oh yeah.
Tell you what, man. Ugh.
You're Boston, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's not easy sometimes for me. Just I don't get it.
My roommates in Nashville are actually from Massachusetts, and so
Okay.
I give them crap all the time.
Yeah, I just don't get it. Like, I don't get like how people cannot be in a hurry to go anywhere ever.
Oh
Like,
yeah. So you have bad road rage.
Sometimes I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes
When
they don't know how to
the
drive
tractor
here.
gets in front of you and you can't get it.
Well, like my fiance and I, she'll laugh at me all the time because I'll be driving down the road and I'll be in the passing lane and maybe it's 55 miles an hour there.
Yeah.
And the car in front of me will be going 40, 45. And I'll be like, here we go again. Guy's turning left somewhere within the next 7 miles. And she'll be like, how do you know that? I'm like, because he's going 10 miles below the speed limit.
Yeah.
There's only one reason why he'd be doing that in the left-hand lane. He's planning on turning left within the next 45 minutes. Sure enough, within 10 minutes, that car's turning left in front of me. And she'll start laughing. How do you know this? I just know the way Texas drivers drive. That's all. Get over into the turn lane, then slow down. That's how you do it, guys. Come on. Oh, man. So, as a songwriter, your first EP has to be a huge thing for you. The first time your music is put out there for the masses to hear, and you actually holding that in your hand. And it was called Ain't the Same.
Yes, sir.
So tell me the process in your mind, not the process, but just the elation maybe that you're going through, just seeing this product in your hand that you worked hard on. And the debut EP is almost always almost a measuring stick. Like, man, here it is. This is something I can hold in my hand. It's forever, and everybody will be able to listen to it for as long as it's around. So, have you processed that in your mind?
Yeah, it was great to to make that thing, man. Because I did it with when I moved up there. I met these guys from Florida. They all lived in the same house, and they were all part of the music scene. They'd been there for 2 or 3 years now, I think. And they had connections with the music studio,
right.
Recording studio, and so I'd go there and jam at their house and stuff on weekends or whatever. And I told them I had this idea that I wanted to do a single or an EP or something, because I didn't have any music out.
Right.
I was getting to the point where I was playing out more, and all my friends were handing out koozies and EPs and or selling them, and I didn't have anything.
Right.
I would get done and somebody would walk up and say, "Hey, I liked your stuff. Where can I find it?"
Yeah.
Nowhere.
Well, I don't have it.
Yeah,
yet.
I don't have it.
Yeah.
So I wanted to get some stuff online and hard copies, to hand out at shows and stuff. And so those guys helped me. We got the date set and went in there and made that thing, and met some incredible musicians up there that were kind of hired guns.
And so, what year was this that this came out?
2016.
Okay.
It was when we did it. It came out in 2017.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you just had the release date for, it was Hill Lake Road?
Hills Lake Road. Yes,
Hills
sir.
Lake Road.
Yeah.
And in February, you just released this. I've been watching you on social media. Really excited about the release for this record.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because it's got some different songs on there. The first EP, I'm happy with it, but it was very produced.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was full band, and I've got some songs on the side that were a little more folky, a little more Americana, and I actually did I ran out of songs one time at a show in Nashville, and so I pulled out one of my folky Americana songs called it was Hills Like Road, and it talks about a goat man, you know, still in your soul. So I was always scared to do something like that in Nashville, you know, because I was trying to do more of my commercial stuff up there. And I pulled that song out, and people dug it, and so I was like, you know what, maybe I need to make a EP.
Yeah,
of all
I definitely
these
dig
type
that
songs,
side
you
of
know?
you for sure. The honest Eley Buck Davis lyrics and the toned down intimacy feel of all that. I love that kind of music, and I think that's your niche. I think that's what you.
Yeah, after I did that one, there. I really like that stripped down version.
Right.
You know, that stripped down EP. It's I like the first one too. Don't get me wrong. You know, because you need those songs too.
Right.
But
I've only heard I think one or two songs on the new one, but it's definitely way different than the first one.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's very stripped down and bare and not as in your face.
Yeah.
So to speak, you can definitely tell that. I wouldn't say you've changed, but maybe it's more. Maybe the right word is evolve. I don't know, but
yeah, because actually some of those songs on that one were written at the same time that the other one was.
So how is that happening? Just going through bipolar?
Yeah, you know, I guess it just depending on what mood I was in, you know. And like I said earlier, you know, about the influences, you know, I would say Hills Like Road was influenced more by, you know, like that's Ray Wiley Hubbard type stuff, you know, listen to that. And so that's what
I believe that. I definitely believe that.
Yeah, I want to do something different, and also something about Hills Like Road is, you know, a road in Carthage, Texas, and the Goat Man was a legend there. You know, you're not supposed to go down that road at night, or you know, the Goat Man will get you. You know, so
I'm gonna go there tonight. I'm not afraid of no Goat Man.
Yeah, check it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, so I wanted to write something a little different, and then also something to show about where I came from, and you know.
Very cool. So, guys, we've been sitting here with Eley Buck Davis, originally from the Beckville, Texas area, and this is episode 236. Guys, we're actually going to be right back with more from Eley right after this. We're going to play some What the Heck with Eley. I bet you we're going to surprise you.
Hey, I'm Amy Holden. Thank you for tuning in to the ETX ROCKS Show.
All right, so we are back. This is episode 236. If you're out there listening or watching or tuned in, I definitely want to thank you guys for doing that. It's you guys out there that make us or break us, so thank you for watching. And first time on the ETX ROCKS Show, we have Eley Buck Davis from the Beckville, Texas area. Of course, now he's living and playing a lot in Austin. And as you guys know, if you've watched the show before, we like to play a little game with our guests from time to time. Usually on every episode, as long as there's not a time crunch. Sometimes people out there won't be a game, and they'll be like, how come you didn't play the game with this person? Typically, that's just because the artist is in a time crunch that day, and we're just trying to get them to their next show or something a little quicker, and that's why we wouldn't be able to do it. But in this show, we get to play What the Heck with Eley Buck Davis. So, Eley, the way this works is I'm just going to ask you 5 or 6 questions. And some of them might be silly or stupid or gross. Some of them might be deep. Okay. And I just want you to turn your filter off. Tell me the first thing that pops into your head.
Okay.
Sound good?
Sure.
All right. So the first question I think everybody out there will probably want to know is, why do you think the chicken crossed the road?
To prove to the possum that it could be done.
Yes. That's right. All right. Number 2. If you were a cannibal, do you think clowns would taste funny?
Who?
If you were a cannibal, do you think clowns would taste funny?
Oh, clowns. I'm sure, yeah.
I don't think so. I think they would taste just like anybody else.
What about all the paint on their face?
Well, you just don't eat their face. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, if you, like, you know, had a steak or something and had a little paint on the corner, would you eat that first?
No.
My point exactly. All right, number 3. Now, you're familiar with Donald Duck?
Yeah.
All right, so in the history of you ever seeing Donald Duck, have you ever seen him wearing pants?
No.
Me either. So why does he wrap himself in a towel when he gets out of the shower?
Dang. That's deep.
Yeah.
That's... I don't know.
You have any idea?
I have no idea.
Man, I just want to know.
Guess as good as mine, man.
All right. I think it's plumage. Yeah. That's what I think it is. He just, that's the one time he needs to be modest.
Oh, okay.
You know, I don't know.
What's that around his neck? Didn't he have a collar around his neck? Yeah, what is that not the same duck?
I think it's, I don't think it's a collar. I think it's like a sailor. It looks like a sailor thing.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
It makes him look like a sailor. Oh. I don't know why. I don't think Donald Duck's a sailor. I don't know. Hey, number 4. What do you think Superman is changing clothes nowadays?
Wait, what?
What do you think Superman changes clothes nowadays? Because it used to be phone booths, and they don't have those anymore. So.
Oh man. I see. I'm not a superhero guy, so I don't know. Maybe Kmart changing room.
See now, but Kmart's going out of business. So.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. I would think after losing his favorite spot, the phone booth, that he's going to be very careful on his next selection to make sure it's a little more permanent.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't think Kmart changing rooms are that permanent.
Yeah, it's true. Target. They're doing pretty good. I don't think they're going anywhere anytime soon.
Wow, we know what Eley likes better, Target over Kmart. So you think Target is going to be around and Kmart won't?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so Kmart's not sponsoring this episode. We were hoping. All right, number 5. All right, so you can pick any songwriter, alive or dead, to write your life story in a song. Who would you pick?
Oh, man. Alive or dead. That's tough. I don't want to say the stereotypical Townes Van Zandt answer. That's what most songwriters would say.
We've had that one for a few times.
Yeah, which I would like that, but I'm gonna go with Chris Knight, man. Like, yeah,
that's a good answer.
Yeah.
Why would you choose him?
Because he's a story song guy.
Yeah.
You know, so it's gonna be a story about my life. Get a guy that writes story songs.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
See, I think if I had to choose honestly, and I would choose Brandon Jenkins.
Oh yeah.
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 And we were just talking. Brandon just passed away earlier this week, and man, what a loss.
Yeah. He influenced me and several others. You know, I mean,
yeah.
The Red Dirt legend.
Yep, and he'll never be forgotten. I promise you that.
Yeah.
But Brandon and his family out there were thinking about y'all and his fans and stuff like that. Definitely in our thoughts and prayers. And we're not going to end what the heck on a somber note, so I'm going to have to think of a whacked out question for Eley now. All right, so you're alive and living in the 1920s. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you've never been this Eley Buck Davis. You're that Eley Buck Davis. So you were alive in the 20s. So you don't know anything about the 21st century. All right.
Okay.
Now a time traveler comes back into the 20s with a cell phone and a Miley Cyrus ringtone. How do you react when you hear it?
Bullet to the head.
Really? To your head or his head?
Both. I'd shoot him first and then shoot myself.
Yeah, that's the order you would have to do that.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah.
You can't just shoot yourself and then shoot him. That doesn't work.
Because it's his fault that I heard it.
All right, so that was What the Heck with Eley Buck Davis. Thanks for being a good sport, man.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you having me.
All right, so Eley and his guitarist are going to play another song, and this one is called My Ticket Out. Again, another honest song. You know, it's cool how you can, like, I'm listening to you sing and perform, and the songs always start like happy and, you know, I really love this girl, and then at the end of the song it's like, man, this is over. Like, wow. So I love how you can do that within a 3-minute span. Just, you know, make me feel good about something and then just take it away, you know. So tell us about the story behind this song.
I mean, it's just about the typical, you know, high school sweetheart, you know, that you're crazy about, and she ends up, you know, breaking up with the guy, and at first, he's kind of heartbroken about it, but then he realizes later on in life, I guess it's kind of about me a little bit about, following your dreams and going out to play music. And so he looks back and he realizes, she was my ticket out.
Yeah, even though it didn't work.
Yeah, if it didn't work, because if he would have stayed there, he would have got married.
Right.
He would have, had still been hanging around that small town and never pursued his dreams.
Yeah.
But,
it's so cool to look at it that way.
Yeah.
Because, a lot of times people would think that the prototypical story is she's my ticket out because we stayed together and we moved away together.
Yeah.
In this, it was the heartbreak that was your ticket out. That was the reason why you moved on.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those, thank God for unanswered prayers.
Yeah, it's such a good concept in a song.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy to share this with y'all. This is live and unplugged. The song's called My Ticket Out by Eley Buck Davis. Don't go anywhere.
Don't mess with Texas. That's what she say. As I throw my beer cans out her daddy's Chevrolet. She was a beauty, but a hypocrite. Oh, she didn't have a problem with putting out and tossing those cigarettes. But she was my ticket out of that small town. If she'd have never broken my heart, I'd still be hanging around. There ain't no hard feelings now, 'cause baby, you my ticket out. Don't get me wrong, no, I ain't one to lie. Yeah, I guess I still miss her on days that end in Y. But I know it's for the best. Oh, 'cause she already got so much, I ain't got much left. But I got my ticket out of that small town. If she'd have never broken my heart, I'd still be hanging around. There ain't no hard feelings now, 'cause baby, you my ticket out. Wasn't in the top 10 of my class, not the most likely to succeed. That's why I believe 3, 4. She was my ticket out of this small town. If she'd never broken my heart, I'd still be hanging around. There ain't no hard feelings now, 'cause baby, you my ticket out. Yeah, baby, you my ticket out.
So we're back. That was My Ticket Out by Eley Buck Davis. Man, I want to thank you for taking some time out and talking with us.
Thanks for having me. It's great.
First
to be back
time on the ETX ROCKS Show. And you guys out there, I haven't really said this on this show yet, but if you didn't know, we do have a new show called Songbirds and Troubadours that we're doing now. Started that in January. And basically what that is it's just two songwriters swapping songs here in the living room, telling stories and stuff like that. And I'm hoping we can get Eley on the schedule for that before he leaves today, maybe.
Right on.
All right, cool. And so be looking for that. I definitely want to thank everybody out there for supporting that show like you have this one as well. You guys know out there how big of a fan I am of the songwriter and the stories and just the creative process that goes on in an artist's mind. It's just a cool thing to me and to Louise as well. And that's what we do here on the show is we try to tell the stories. And I mean, you have a great story, and you've overcome some pretty severe, anxiety issues, and you're a hell of a songwriter. So if people are hearing about you for the first time, where would you send them to follow along with the journey on social media and stuff like that?
Facebook on at Eley Buck Davis, and then I'm on Instagram and iTunes, Amazon, Spotify, and YouTube. So
okay, cool.
Yeah.
No website yet?
No website. No
Okay.
website yet. I'm working on it though.
All right, very cool.
Yeah.
And so the best place to buy the music would be iTunes, Google Play, places like that.
And I'm also working on being able to buy the hard copies online as well. So.
Okay, cool. Awesome. And I imagine you have those at your shows as well, right?
Yes, sir.
And the best place for people to follow along with your tour information would probably be Facebook, you'd say?
Facebook, yes, sir.
Cool. And if there's a venue out there that wanted to book you, where would you send them for that?
I would say Facebook.
So
Yeah.
Facebook is pretty much the home for Eley Buck Davis.
Yes, sir.
All right, so it's Eley Buck Davis on Facebook. That's ELEYBUCKDAVIS on Facebook, or I believe it's just at Eley Buck Davis. He's also on Instagram, and you can find him on YouTube. There's some good stuff on YouTube, including the amazing song called Like It Hit Me First, which is a Vivo video, too. It's really well done. Where was that done?
That was done at Trace Horse Studios.
Is that in Nashville?
Yes, sir. It's fairly new. Some guys just graduated college and started this studio, and I'd seen some of the previous videos that they had done and really liked it. And I just happened to run into it. I was about to move like 3 weeks before we did that video.
Yeah.
Or before I met them. And so I actually did the video the day before I moved to Austin.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a great video and a great song. Is that on one of the records?
No, but it is available on iTunes. You can download it without downloading the video.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So there you go. Go listen to that song on YouTube and then download it. You can get it on iTunes and all the other places. And I definitely want to once again thank you for coming on
Yes,
the
sir.
show.
Thanks for having me.
So once again, guys, I want to thank everybody out there for tuning in to episode 236, featuring Eley Buck Davis on the show for the very first time. If you tuned in for the first time, if you're tuned in for the first time, you guys can follow along with everything we do. We're located on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at ETX Rocks. If you're watching on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button. That is the biggest way you guys can help us out there, because every single subscription we get helps us rise up into the suggested videos and recommended areas on YouTube. And what that means is more exposure for every single video that we put on YouTube. The more subs we have, the more that YouTube allows us into those algorithms. Also, hit the like button wherever you're watching or listening at. Doesn't matter where you're at. I think we're on 21 different platforms now.
Wow.
So that's all also cool. Definitely want to thank everybody out there for listening. Also, our funding depends entirely on listeners and viewers like you guys out there. So if you'd like to contribute to the ETX ROCKS Show, we have set up a donate link for you guys to do that. You can donate to www.paypal.me/ETXRocks. And we would take dinero, not Robert, but we'll take dinero, we'll take dinar, we'll take rupees, and the currency that they use on The Legend of Zelda as well. I think that's ruples. The conversion rate on ruples is really good, so we'll take those as well. No monopoly money. US dollars as well. I forgot about that one. And we'll take anything from 50 cents to $1 million, nothing more than that, and no quarters. So thank you guys very much for if you contribute. And just to let you guys know where that money goes, it helps us upgrade our equipment here, which means a higher quality show for everybody out there. So we definitely appreciate that. And also, as we always say on this show, we want to thank everybody out there for always supporting live music of all genres and all styles. And don't ever forget,
ETX rocks.
That's right.
Howdy, folks. This is Aaron Watson.
This is Bree Bagwell.
This is Jake. And this is Walter from Rocky Queen.
This is Curtis Grimes.
Monty Pittman.
This is Doug Supernon.
I'm Heather Little.
This is Rob Redwan.
Ho! Hey, folks, I'm WWE Hall of Famer Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Hey guys, I'm Katie Lynn, and make sure to tune in to ETX Rocks with
Boston Chris.
Hello, y'all. This is Ronnie Millsap, and thanks for tuning in to the ETX ROCKS Show.
Tough guy. Ho!
Hey guys, we're Blacktop Mojo, and thank you for tuning in to ETX Rocks.